Blue collar, white collar, black professors, white scholars, politicians, Dalai Lamas. Everybody in the whole wide world need hope if I be honest. I'm in that number.
Hey, good day. Welcome to another episode of Raw Report. I'm your host, Robert Bob TV Brown. So I'm looking in the news. That's right. And I see an article. Let me go ahead and pull it up. And I saw the article and started clowning. Started laughing, man, because it gets to the point where people are playing teams so much that the whole country suffers. They're jockeying for positions, and mine's is better than yours better than mine's. They don't even want you. You're in a primary. The whole point of being in a political primary is to show your stark difference between your opponent. And you got to show what you bring to the table versus what the opponent brings to the table. You got to show your opponent's past, and your opponent going to show you your past. You got to put the record on the table, let them see the record. That's what this is all about, and you make your judgment from that whether you want to be on this person's side or not. Voting is a me thing. It's not a we thing all the time. A lot of people think it's we. No, it's you personally. You don't vote for, you can vote for others, but the bottom line is, what is this person going to do for me and my community, me and my family? So that is, when it comes to voting, it's a personal thing. You're not going in there with your buddies. It's just like when they say when you die and go to heaven. Look, I don't care. You're not bringing nobody there with you when you go up to that gate. It's just you. And all you're going to either hear, I knew you not, or well done, thy good or faithful servant. That's the same thing when you're going in the voting booth. It's just you. Nobody else is going with you. They're not even going to let you take nobody else with you. It's against the law. That's why you don't bring your kids with you to the voting booth. And yes, there should be open primaries all across the country. And yes, there should be a national holiday for voting where you could take a day off from work and get paid to go do it. Because that's part of the manipulation process, and that's part of choking the vote. You can't get the day off to go vote. You got to wake up early in the morning, then you risk getting to work late because you're waiting in line to vote. The laws need to change concerning voting, but this ain't got nothing to do with voting and voting process and nothing like that. Just went over a poll today, and let me take a look at this poll. And now it's not a stripper poll. I was looking at this poll, and a friend of mine, Gerald, put it on Facebook, and he got excited. 47% of black women say they back Biden, according to poll. They don't mention what kind of poll it is. They don't mention they don't say anything. But this poll comes from Morning Consult poll. How many of you heard of Morning Consult poll? Neither have I. Okay, so I don't know where this poll came from, but we're going to take a look at this, because what they're trying to do is they're trying to skew the numbers to give one person more favor than the other because they are afraid of one particular person. The media is afraid of this particular person. The capitalistic society are afraid of this person. Wall Street afraid of this person. And a lot of other people are afraid of this one person because they fear this one person in his politics is going to change the landscape forever. And they will not be able to get the advantage over the people versus the people getting the advantage over them. You got one that's pro-people, and then you got one that's pro-Wall Street, pro-corporations, pro-military complex, big pharma, you name it. And that's Joe Biden. So 47% of black women say they're backbiting. It say nearly half of black women say they would support former Vice President Joe Biden in the Democratic presidential primary, according to the new Morning Consult poll. 47%. You notice they say nearly half. They didn't say half or over, more than half. Nearly. Now, usually when you get something under 50%, it's not a good thing, but they're trying to blow this thing up like it's a good thing. 47% of black women surveyed for the poll said Biden is their top choice to be the Democratic nominee, giving them a wide lead in demographic over his rivals. Another 18% of the black women polled said Senator Sanders of Vermont is their top choice, and 9% said they back Kamala Harris. Biden also has the most support among white women, with 36% of white women naming him as their top choice, the polls found. The poll results are based on surveys with the sample of 15,475 registered voters. So they're only polling registered voters. They're only polling voters in the Democratic Party. To say that Biden only got 47% of the women, black women in the Democratic Party, is not a good thing, because usually black women overwhelmingly support one person in the race in the high 80s and the high 90s. This is 47%. And they trying to tout this as this is good news for Biden, and it's not. The poll resulted based on, so it said Democratic primary coffin. It said registered voters who indicated that they may participate in their state Democratic primary or caucus. The survey was conducted from April 22nd to the 28th, and the poll has a margin of error plus or minus 1 percentage point. Another poll released Tuesday showed Biden in the lead among non-white voters in the Democratic presidential primary race. CNN, now listen, we went over this the last time. CNN SRSS poll, we went through that poll. They did not poll anybody under 35 and under. They barely polled any people 45 to 55. Most of the people that they polled were 55 and over. So where in the world you get these people? Did you get a clipboard and go to a senior center and, or go to a retirement village and just sat there and ate dinner with them and asked them questions? Why you didn't poll the rest of the country? Because they know that the elder community are comfortable with the names that they're familiar with. They don't take the time to look at a person's record and the policies that they pushed. They don't go through that. Most Americans don't go through that. Only junkies like me go through that. I could tell you all about a person's record and how great and how horrible it is. Okay? And this is the sad part of America, because we're willing to vote anybody in a piece of dump. You thinking this person is this golden person because they're affiliated with this person, and you look at their record, they ain't all that. All right. Matter of fact, some of their record, like I told you before, you go look at my video on the racist policies of Joe Biden back in the 70s, 80s, and going into the 90s, was downright white supremacists. Don't let, just cause Obama picked him as VP, don't let that sugarcoat you and make you think he's okay. Obama may have been okay, but that don't mean Joe Biden was okay because he had a bromance with Obama, smiling and cheesing and putting on his shades. You go look at his record, you'll find out his record is draconian and anti-black. And matter of fact, when it comes to crime, he's to the right of Trump, of all people. His policies to the right of Trump. He the one crafted that strike 3 program. Strike 3, you go to jail and you don't get out. Joe Biden came up with that. You know how many black people are in jail because of that? Still in jail to this day because of that. Now I'm getting off subject. This is supposed to be about this poll, but the CNN SRSS poll is a rigged poll. They rigged elderly people. They did not talk. Number one, they didn't talk to the rest of the Democrats, 45 and under. And they don't want to because they know Joe Biden don't favor with people 45 and under. I don't care whether it's men, women, or millennials. So they're not going to poll them. They're going to poll 45 and up. People who are familiar with name recognition. So that's a skewed poll. Not only that, you got to get outside your party, because there's a lot of independents would like to vote in the Democratic Party if you give them a proper choice to vote for. They could be your best friend against Trump if you give them a proper person to vote for. And if you stop closing the primaries. It's funny to me how you close your primaries, and you don't want people like me, independents, you want people like me to vote for your candidate if they win the primary, but I didn't get a chance to pick them in the primary because you closed the primaries. So you don't let me vote in your primary. You're going to tell me in order for me to vote for your candidate, I got to become one of you. I don't want to become part of no party. And I shouldn't have to be forced to vote for somebody in your party. But yet, if I decide I don't want to join your party, but I do favor one of your candidate, you're going to ask me if they lose to vote for the other person. The person who I favor in your party to win, if he end up being not being victorious in the primaries, you're going to ask me to support the next person just because he's a Democrat. Not if he's anti-woman. Not if he has a track record of going to wars. Not if he support regime change wars. Not if he's dropping thousands of bombs on innocent people in a foreign country. Now, I'm not even talking about Trump. I'm talking about the past 3 presidents lately, including Trump. I'm talking about Obama, I'm talking about Bush, and I'm talking about Bill Clinton when he had that mess to deal with in Kosovo. So let's look at this poll, because they say Joe Biden got 47% of the black woman vote. Let's look at this. Here's a poll. All right, so it's a front runner support by age. Again, this is morningconsult.com. You never heard of it. I never heard of it. I think they just pull it up out of their behind to try to help Joe Biden get a boost in his polling. All right, so 18 to 29, 23% of the people in this poll, we're talking about Democrats only. We're not talking about non-affiliates. We're not talking about independents, because if you did dip into that area, Bernie Sanders will blow Joe Biden away. See, that's the thing. We'll talk about that in a moment. The key to winning an election, and I should be some kind of political strategist, but you got to pay me, man. I'm not going to be, I usually don't give you free advice. The key to win an election in the general is you got to cater to independents. Now, I keep telling Democrats, you're dumb, stupid, idiotic to close your primaries where people outside your party can't help you vote for the person that's running in your party who's supposed to be trying to stop Trump. You close the primary and keep that only for those within the party to vote for people in your party. How dumb that is. Open the primaries. Oh, I know why you don't want to open the primaries. Because you don't want somebody that really represents the people from the grassroots that you can't manipulate, shape, and control to beat your person that you can manipulate, shape, and control. That's what it is. That's the reason why you close it, because you want to control the electoral process in the primaries, and that's what happened the last time. The Democratic Party, they tried to control, they couldn't control Bernie Sanders, but they knew Hillary Clinton was the golden girl, and they did whatever they did to help her win. Proven, fact, certified, put a stamp on it. It's record. It's a matter of public record. It's not theory. They cheated. Why? Because the Bernie Sanders was coming from the grassroots, and he had a lot of independent support that was willing to back him. And you guys didn't open up the primary, so the independent could have voted him in, defeating Hillary. Because if the independents would have got a chance, to, especially here in New York, 3 million independents were turned away from the poll because they couldn't register on the same day. They had to register 1 year in advance before they even know who Bernie Sanders was. How in the heck you expect them to vote for Bernie Sanders? Yet Bernie Sanders, the only couple of places Bernie Sanders did not beat Hillary Clinton was in the so-called major metropolitan area, Albany, Syracuse, Rochester, and New York City. The rest of the state, he won by a landslide. And in this case, they still believe he won New York City because we couldn't find out that the lady that was running the polling in Brooklyn was indicted. She had to lose her job. They were finding all kind of crazy stuff going in there. You know, come to find out Hillary Clinton had a house and offered her the house, the whole nine, y'all, all kind of crooked crap. All right, let me get back to this poll. So you see this right here? It's a 23%, 18 to 29, voice support for Joe Biden. 36% Bernie Sanders. They're not saying anything about that. 27%, 30 to 44, Joe Biden. 27% Bernie Sanders. Neck and neck for the 30 to 44 crowd. As you get to the 45 and up, they claim 37% Biden, 19 Bernie Sanders. 55 to 64, 42. 65, 48%. That's their poll. All right, so let's look at this poll again. Remember, they only polled 15,000 registered right now voters in the Democratic Party. Remember what I say, Bernie Sanders' strongest base is outside the party. He got a strong base in the Democratic Party, as you see on this chart. A strong base. His advantage is outside the party. Joe Biden don't have that because independents can't stand him, and for various reasons. Republicans don't like him. He think they do, but they don't. Republican voters now. There's a difference between the Republicans in Capitol Hill and Republican voters. They don't like him. So that's why I say Biden winning this primary is another Trump victory, because independents are not going to support Joe Biden, just like independents were not going to support Hillary Clinton. You can spout all that Russian crap all you want. The bottom line is independents do not feel these corporate suck-up Democrats like Joe Biden, Joe Manchin, Hillary Clinton, and all these other numbnuts. And if you don't win the independents, if you're not going to do something to get them on your side, you will lose, because the same thing that happened in this last election with Trump, the election before last, is going to happen in 2020, because those independents will continue to go back and support Trump. They want to support other people. A lot of them was not going to support Hillary Clinton. They supported Trump because Trump was the closest thing to a radical that has hope to do things for them, even though he was lying through his teeth. But at least he made promises. At least he spent time with them. He talked to them. He met with them. He did all those things. Hillary Clinton was too bougie to do that. Besides, most of the jobs got crushed in their area in the Midwest. It was the Clinton's policy on trade that did it. Now, to be fair to Hillary Clinton, it was her husband. But also to be unfair to Hillary Clinton, she took his message all across America to try to sell it to the people. So she's just as fault as he is. Now, according to this, men, 33% support Joe Biden. Women, 38% support Joe Biden. Bernie Sanders, 24%, men, 24%, men, 20%. Black men, 40% support, they say Biden, 21% Bernie. Black women, 47%, 18% Bernie. White men, 32, 24. White women, 36, 20%. Now, Look at the name ID between Bernie Sanders and Joe Biden. It's the same, 98%. But here you got Bernie Sanders come out of nowhere and get just as much name recognition as Joe Biden. Now, in the very favorable rate, Joe Biden has 37% of the voters saying they'll back him, and 30% will say they'll back Bernie. Now, that's those who are favorable to vote. 44% will back Bernie Sanders, 39% Joe Biden. So that's the favorability, the name recognition between Bernie Sanders and Joe Biden. It's not that big. Joe Biden only got 7% more than Bernie Sanders. Yeah, Joe Biden is the vice president of Barack Obama, very popular president. And he only got 37% favorable to Bernie Sanders having 30%. So 7-point lead. That is nothing to get happy at, because here's a guy who had no recognition. Nobody knew who he was. Everybody knew who Joe Biden was. Political junkies like me knew who he was. But then you get the somewhat favorable weighting and it changes. Bernie Sanders had more somewhat favorable name recognition than Joe Biden, 44 to 39. All right, so we're not going to talk about the other ones because they suck. And their name recognition is way down there. All right, so going back to what I was saying. Now, if you say campaign announcement bumps for a selection and campaign. So Biden got a bump of 6 points when he announced in April. Okay? Now, there's a myth on who is the front runner. It doesn't really matter who's the front runner. The thing that matters is who, because any media pundit, any news agency, any political analyst can say that Joe Biden or Bernie Sanders is the favorite. That has nothing to do with what you need to do right now. The game plan is Bernie Sanders right now has more money than the DNC, the DCCC, and a couple other agencies combined because of the financial game plan that he have of a whole lot of people giving a little bit versus getting a whole lot from these corporate suck-ups like Joe Biden getting it from Comcast and all that. That first day announcement of his fundraising effort, supposed to be the best ever, shattered records. It did when it came to numbers. But when you looked at the grassroots of it, it didn't come from people. It came from greedy vulture capitalist corporations that love Joe and figure they can get a favor with Joe if he get in office. So let's throw him a couple of, the legal amount that we need to get. Or let's get some bundlers. And let's pool our money together and give to Joe Biden or Beto O'Rourke and all those people. That's how they do it. Bernie Sanders, $17 to $27, still the same. This dude got 1 million boots on the ground for his campaign. 1 million. Now, like I said, you know me. I don't like to toot horns, but when somebody do good, I'm gonna big them up. When somebody do bad, I'm gonna big them down. And in this effort, Bernie Sanders is a master strategist. His game plan is sharp, and even Joe Biden ain't gonna be able to derail that. They're gonna try. What they're gonna do is do what they did in 2016, rig and cheat, because they can't do it on their own. And right now, you got politicians saying we need to go back to paper ballots, so we don't have to worry about this so-called Russia thing. Nobody's saying that. Biden's not saying that. Even Bernie's not saying that. Tulsi Gabbard is saying that. We need to go to paper ballots. We need to make this election fair and square. Get off those computers and get back to people jotting their name on a piece of paper, and we count them with our hands. So this poll is easy to be skewed. I'm not familiar with it. I don't know the credibility of this, but I do know one thing. When they polled 15,000 people, and they were mostly Democrats. And for Joe Biden to be at 40-something instead of 60-something shows that he don't have power. He does not have strength. And of course, you're going to get a bump when you announce that you're running the first 3 weeks, maybe 4 weeks. I give you that. After a couple more weeks, you're going to see his popularity go down. He's going to go on the campaign trail. He is not good. He's good at talking trash. And then they'll probably pop some shots at Trump. And the only person that Trump really scared of is Tulsi Gabbard and Bernie Sanders. He ain't scared of no Joe. All right, so just looking at the polls, like again, people, I got to tell you, you got to not get upset over a poll or get excited over a poll, because polls are oftentimes skewed. You think I'm going to sit here and listen to CNN tell me about a CNN poll that's going to favor one person? I don't care if it said Bernie or anybody else. I don't trust CNN. So I'm not going to listen to anything CNN got to say. And they oftentimes spit out their own polls. Oh, you trying to tell us a poll that you surveyed? That you're not going to survey with independents? You're not going to survey with non-voters? You're not going to survey with non-affiliates or Republicans? You're just going to survey Democrats, and you're just going to make this headline sound like the entire world, all black women in this United States is supporting Biden. And that's not true, because all black women are not Democrats. Matter of fact, the black women, the black base period of independence is growing rapidly because they're tired of this two-party bullcrap. They're leaving in huge numbers. And it's not called Brexit. It's just called leaving both of these parties. You know, seriously. The independent base is growing and growing and growing. It's going to grow. Right now, the independent base was, out of all people who are available to vote or who have the opportunity to vote, the independents outweigh both parties. Both parties are around about 35, less than 40%. Independents usually at 60. I'd say the Dems probably around 27, the Republicans around 23%, but the independents are well over 30, 40%. They make up majority of the country. And if you're not going to reach out to them, if you're not going to talk about a plan that's going to help them, if you're not going to make some kind of restitution with them, repentance with them, and come up with some kind of plan that's going to benefit them, you're not going to entertain them for a vote. They're not going to vote for you. And you're not going to slut vote them, and you're not going to vote or shame them because, oh, we need to do whatever we do to get Trump out. Hey, I say we need to do whatever we need to do to get all you fools out. He ain't the only idiot up there. Y'all are too. He's not the only one changing things and making things worse. Most of you Democrats out there fast-tracking his judges, but y'all supposed to be resisting. Seem like you're more assisting. He come up with some bill with the military, this big number. Nobody says where you're going to get the money from. You fools just sit there and sign it. Democrats. But they hate Trump and want to stop Trump. You sure ain't showing it in your voting record. It looked like you're really for him. And I get it. Most of you millionaires, a couple of you in there billionaires. So of course, Donald Trump is good for your bottom dollar, but I got to do like wrestling. I got to fake like I hate you, but after I get off this TV, let's go get something to eat. To this day, Trump and Hillary Clinton, they've been friends for over 40 years. You think just because she lost the election, they not friends, man? She probably hurt. She may not be friends with him, but I bet your old Billy boy is still friends with Trump. They get along real good. I got pictures of them hanging out on a golf course having a ball. So anyway, let me get off this. So don't follow these polls. Always investigate a poll. Don't take it for its word. A lot of times it's made up. It's fabricated. A lot of times they're not polling everybody. They're only polling a particular segment of people. Like that poll came out on CNN, most of those were elderly people, and they probably went to some senior home or some retirement village or somewhere, probably went to Hardee's early in the morning to get some biscuits and gravy and poll some people while they down there, because that's who's usually there in Hardee's in the morning, my senior brothers and sisters eating biscuits and gravy. Come on, man. Poll everybody and you'll get a different story. They poll whoever they want to poll. And then what they're going to do is they're going to take that number and make sure that that's a representation, make it look like that's a representation of the United States. And it's not. CNN SRSS survey. Survey, not even a poll, survey. What SRSS stand for? I guess senior rights, Social Security, I don't know. Anyway, let me start. I'm Robert Brown with the Rob Report. Don't be fooled by the polls. Check out those polls. Find out who they're voting, and then you'll get a better understanding whether this is legit or not. They'll take the worst part of the poll and try to flip it around and make it sound like it's good. 47% of black women say they'll back Joe Biden when he used. That's not good. That's nowhere good. Because in 2012, Obama had like 87% of black women, if not 90%, was willing to vote for him. Joe Biden got 47%. That is not a badge of honor, dude. That's a badge of shame. Like I said, how about you poll everybody without any kind of without being registered, non-affiliated, anything? Poll most black people in the world, in the United States, and that number will go lower. All right, I'm Robert Brown with the Rob Report. I'll let you later. Peace. Hey, thank you for watching that episode of the Rob Report. Before you go now, I need you to do two things for me. First thing, I want you to like the video if you liked it. Second thing, I want you to share it all across social media. And if you have not subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button right now. Stop and do it. As Jimmy Dore says sometimes, you think you're subscribed, or you go check and find out you're not subscribed. So make sure you check that you're subscribed and hit the notification bell. That'll let you know when I put a new content out. I'm not a fan of Super Chat, so if you plan on giving to the efforts of Bob TV, make sure you do that through Bob TV NYC at paypal.me. Anybody who want to have free access to my Patreon channel, I'm trying to save you money on your cable bill. I ran into a program that I think everybody need, everybody can afford, and everybody should have, and that link is down there below. 5,000 plus channel, best sports package, and the best premium TV, and even international channels, and you can access this all over the world. Go ahead and check that out, get your free trial, and if you decide to support, become members of those two services, we'll go ahead and give you full access to the Patreon channel, and there's no cost to it. So my name is Robert Brown with the Rob Report. Thank you for watching. I'll holler at you later. Peace.